This is the physician's tale. There once was a knight called Virginius. He had many friends, a loving wife, a lot of money, and a very beautiful daughter. Along with being very beautiful, his daughter was humble and virtuous. She avoided any events that would compromise her virtue. One day, the daughter and her mother went into town, walking towards a temple where a judge who governed the town stood. He noticed the beautiful girl and concluded that he must have her. She will be his. The judge decided to get a clever and brave man who was also known to be mean-spirited, Claudius, to help him with his devious plan to get the girl. He persuaded Claudius with expensive and precious gifts. The next day, the plan was executed. Claudius created a fake complaint against Virginius to tell the judge, whose name is now mentioned to be Appius. The complaint Claudius made up is that Virginius is holding one of his servants, a beautiful, young, and virtuous girl, against her will, and that Virginius is forcing her to pretend to be his daughter. Appius, the judge, listens to Claudius's complaint and swiftly commands Virginius to be summoned to the court immediately. As Virginius begins to speak and defend himself, he is cut off by Appius, who refuses to let him speak. Appius orders for the girl to be removed from Virginius and taken in as a ward of the court. Virginius returns home and explains to his daughter the situation and how she must either die now, virtuous, or go into the hands of the court in shame. The daughter begs for mercy and another solution, but while she is begging, Virginius knows in his head she must die. The daughter goes to her room to think about the situation and to contemplate her death, and she ends up falling asleep. When she wakes up, she accepts death, and she blesses God that she could die a virgin. Virginius walks into her room with a sword in his hand. He comes closer, takes the sword, and cuts off her head. Virginius, ashamed and sad at what he just did, took the head of his beautiful daughter to the court to show Appius that he cannot have her, and that this is what he did. Appius is shocked when he sees the head. He tries to escape to hang himself, knowing he can't get caught if he's dead. But thousands of people begin to show up, knowing what he has done and the lies he created that resulted in the horrible situation. They begin to question him and scold him for his terrible sins. They took Appius and threw him in prison, where they knew he would rot forever. They start to sentence Claudius, Appius's helper, to hang, but Virginius pleads on Claudius's behalf, knowing that he was tricked with expensive things. They eventually agreed that Claudius was to be exiled instead of being murdered. The story ends with the line, "Forsake your sins before your sins forsake you," meaning abandon sin before it destroys you. The end.